Welcome to another episode of A Big Girl's Guide, the podcast. This is your host, Jen PK, and today I have my friend Tiffany Nicole.
Hello.
Hi, Tiffany.
How are you?
Doing all right. Been doing homework like all day long, so my brain is kind of... Tiffany and I used to work together in theater. I keep being involved in theater. People assume that's what I want to do with my life, and I don't know. But I had that conversation with somebody the other day. They were just like, so you want to do theater? And I was like,
No.
I
just end up here all the time.
It's a creative outlet that's nearby, I guess. And it's something I'm good at. That's generally where I land, is places that I'm good at doing, that, whatever that thing is. But Tiffany is a cat mom.
Yeah.
And
we'll run around here at some point. You'll hear
an amateur tarot card reader, and a stage manager, and a social activist, and a company manager, and I believe a writer and an actress too. You do some writing work?
I need you to create my dating profile. Every time it's about you, and I'm like, I don't know. I go to work. I come home.
That is the hardest question then.
Yeah, I do that. I do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you've gone to some protests and stuff, so I think now you get to be called a social activist, because you go out there and take pictures with politicians. And
I got my one photo with Beto, and I'm like, look at me. I'm that
stomp the pavement.
I take the photo, post it on my Instagram account, and I'm like, I did it.
It really looked like you was doing something. I said, look at her. You're gonna be running for office one day.
People tell me that sometimes, and I'm like, I think I just want to cheer them on. I also think I don't want to run for office just because I don't want people to they look into my past, and they're like, they find some old podcasts that I've done or something, like other projects that I've done, and then be like, ooh, do we really want this girl? I'm like, no.
She's of the people. She's of the people.
I'm one of you guys. It's fine. Mm-hmm.
I did not inhale. Although, they say the only president that I recognize, Mr. Obama, enjoyed partaking in, some things.
Yeah.
So,
Beto's trying to make it a possibility for us to do in Texas. And I'm like, you know what?
That's going to be a rough one right there. But okay, good for him. If that's, I personally, I don't do any kind of substances. That's not my bag. But, there may come a day where I, need to eat a gummy. I don't know. Alcohol, I don't like the taste of, at all. I felt bad for this little waitress that I had when I went to see my friend sing at SCAT. Because she gave me what's it called, a lemon drop. So I said I wanted something really sweet.
Uh-huh.
It was nasty.
No, not even lemon drop?
It tastes like sweet alcohol. I can taste alcohol is nasty.
Have you tried a green tea shot?
No, I don't drink. The only reason I ordered it was to be nice, because you pay to get in there, but for the waitress, so she doesn't feel like she's wasting her time, and they don't have food. And my sister's like, why didn't you just order a Coke? And I was like, so I'm not paying $8 for something I have at the house.
That could be me. Right? Ask them to see. I don't know. Scats is kind of I like Scats. I really like Scats, but I was I don't know. I don't want to order this and then be like, that's what you really ordering up in this jazz lounge. But try a green tea shot, and if they make it into a drink form where you can sip it, it doesn't taste like alcohol to me. But that's to me.
I think I'm really sensitive to it just because I don't drink. Because other people will be like, oh, this tastes good. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It tastes like it's burning. Because I tried to get I think I asked for a Midori sour, because I think that's what somebody else ordered for me before. And I was like, I want one of those. And I need 4 packs of Splenda and a bunch of cherries. And she was like, I don't know if we have a Midori sour. And I was like, what? Because that's the only place that I would go get that I would have a drink besides on the border or something. Every once in a while I feel the peer pressure to have a real margarita. Just one though.
Oh my gosh.
And eat a lot of chips.
Oh, chips and salsa sounds so good. I live like near and on the border, and I used to, especially during the like lockdown pandemic when I wasn't going out to eat or like if I'd get food delivered, I would hit up that on the border and I was like, give me some chips and salsa because this will last me a couple of days. And I
Yeah.
would sit there and just eat chips and salsa on my floor. I'd be like, I haven't had interaction with human beings in a while, but someone just dropped this food off on my door and I'm very happy.
Yeah. Thank you, person. Thank you,
Mhm.
DoorDash. Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. That's that Uber Eats. And they'll still message me and I'm like, I don't need you. It's so expensive. And then they don't know where I live and they take it to the wrong. I had someone, they took my Outback Steakhouse to the wrong apartment. Like there were two of my number on the same street because this apartment's dumb.
Mhm.
And they took it to the other one. So I went over to their apartment and I banged on their door and I could hear their dog. And all of a sudden it got real quiet. And I was like, I know that y'all have my Outback because he took a picture of the front door and I found your front door and the Outback's not there. I was
Did,
so
did you still want it after it had gone into somebody else's house? They probably would have eaten it.
no, but I wanted them to acknowledge they stole my food.
But they didn't go, oh, this isn't me.
Yeah,
They weren't honest. They're just like, oh, it's a blessing.
it's a blessing. I mean, I say that as if like if that happened to me, I wouldn't be like, Outback Steakhouse.
You can't take it back now.
So I called Uber and I was like, y'all didn't deliver it. And I got my money back.
You
And then I had
should.
to drive it. I had to drive up there. Put my mask on, had them. They're like, ma'am, can we just throw it in your car? I was like, just leave it on the curb and I'll pick it up myself. Don't get near me.
I
That's what I
still
like
don't.
about it. I'm like, I could just like not be around people. I love wearing my mask in public still. Like, I just make faces. I can't have my facial expression. And so I just make faces and I'm like, and but now nobody knows because I have the mask on.
Don't get one of those clear ones. My
Oh,
friend had one of those clear ones, so you could see her lipstick and all that good stuff. And I'm just like,
that's my only problem is I miss people being able to see my lipstick. That's it.
I don't really wear makeup, so it never really bothers me. I have someone right now because why not? For you, I'm doing it for you. I was like, I'm gonna put on this blue eyeshadow
I
because
like the blue
why
eyeshadow.
not?
Ops. And your lip color, you are going to have to tell me what that lip color you're wearing is because it is so good.
I'm gonna have to go in there and find. My sister picked out all my makeup. I only have a couple things, but I spent like a car payment at Ulta one day. I was just like, I told her, I was like, just pick out whatever you buy for me. And when we got up there and the lady said the bill, I said, in dollars? I was like, yeah.
Today? Like that's how much I paid today?
Yeah. And I was like, is that with my what? Are there any coupons? But my sister was like, well, most people don't like buy it all at one time. You know what I mean? They kind of sprinkle it. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. So now I have a caboodles with makeup that I really don't wear makeup. I don't think to do it.
I at this point just like I collect it. Like I'll just like seek up, especially my big thing is eye colors and lip colors. And like I'll pick stuff out. I'm like, that's so cute. And then I'm moving. And so I'm like going through all my stuff and I'm like, I have too many items. Giving them away like my friend's daughter. And I'm like, do you want all this makeup? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, great. Because I don't want this in my new apartment.
That's where I would get a lot of stuff was from when my sister didn't want it.
Mhm.
It's like I would get all the Bath and Body Works and all the lip gloss and anything like that. Or she got a color because my sister, you know, she's a darker hue than I am. She's chocolate. So she would get a color that she felt was too light for her or something like that, which there's no such thing as too light for you. You can wear whatever color you want to, neon, bright, do whatever you want, whatever, chocolate, dark is midnight, wear the brightest color you want. But, you know, what to your comfortability. So my sister's not always comfortable wearing super light things. And so she would pass it down to me and I'd be like, okay, thanks.
It's so interesting that you said that because I was just having that conversation with someone the other day where I was talking about makeup and they're like, oh, you wear like a lot of bold stuff. And I'm like, I do because when I was younger and I was like experimenting with makeup, I remember like my mom used to be like, you can't wear those kind of colors. Those are like white girl colors. Like, those are colors for white girls. That's not for us. We don't wear that kind of color. And I was like, got it, got it, got it. And like, I grew up thinking that like I couldn't wear like pinks and like fun blues and stuff like that because I was like, or like a pink lipstick, an icy
Yeah.
lipstick with a white girl color. And I'm like, how
Even
interesting.
with your light skin.
Mhm. I know. I was like, I need to like put a disclaimer out here. I'm like, I am very light skinned. like I still grew up thinking that. And so
It's interesting, the stigmas that we put on ourselves for what we can and cannot do. I personally have one against like you see I have this like bright yellow dress on. I bought it in this weird moment and I really love it, but I rarely ever wear it because I'm a big girl. And for me, although it's very cute when other big girls be wearing their bold colors, I just don't feel, I feel like a ball of sun. And I just haven't gotten that far in my journey yet to be like, boom, here I am.
it is so hard. That's why I told myself I was never going to get on TikTok like everyone else did that was my age. And then just like everyone else my age, I got it on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I love like going for like different things. Like right now I'm in organizational TikTok, which everything on my For You page is all like organizing because it's the move and I want to be like, how am I going to decorate? But I started getting on like mid-size plus size TikTok too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so nice to like see like other women just being like embracing themselves or being like and loving themselves and their body.
Yeah.
And then being like, what's like, I was like, what is mid-size and what is like, I
Probably you.
means? And they're like, and then I got to those, my least favorite. I'm like, okay, I can rock with like the mid-sized bodies and whatnot. I was like, I get that feeling. But I don't like when it's like these skinny girls that are like, I have this little bit of a stomach poking out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not a mid-sized girl. Or they're like, Instagram's a lie. See how skinny my body looks like when I pose like this? But when I
Yeah.
pose like this, you can see my
Yeah.
like, are you kidding?
It'd be those muscular girls too, those girls that like work out. And they'll
Mhm.
be like Instagram versus reality or something.
Yeah.
It's like they're like got like, I don't know, like they're little squished up,
Yeah.
tiny, like not even real rolls. Like they had to make that happen.
They're like punching over really tightly and they're like sticking
Yeah.
their stomach out to be like, look at my curves. And I was like, have you ever walked into a store and did not think a clothing would fit you? No, leave.
Yeah.
Leave. You can go. All right.
It doesn't make me feel better. I don't care if you can be positive about your body if you worked hard for it or if you were naturally skinny or whatever. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times as a teenager I wish I was just emaciated so I could go in the Delia's catalog, which I don't know if you're old enough for Delia's, but Delia's these clothing catalogs that had all like the, cool angsty teen wear that you might find somewhere between a Hot Topic and God, I'm old. I'm trying to think of something that's like, because it's not as dark as Hot Topic, but like also there were some things like that, the platform things were really in and the chains and stuff like that, but also like bright colored stuff. It was what you wanted to wear so that you look like, the girls in the magazines. And I was like, I would read those, I would look at those catalogs like, I'm gonna get there. I still ain't got there, sis, but it's okay. It's okay. We'll make that.
I'm all for like looking at people with their like transformations and doing all their things, and I'm like, go you. Just like I'm here for the people who are like, what I look like, and I'm happy for it. I'm like, go you. I'm like, listen, whatever size your body is not change the size of my body. So I'm good.
Yeah, I was telling my stepmom yesterday, it gets so like discouraging sometimes when you see people and they lose all this like weight and like their body size look like what your body size is now, and then you watch them and they did the keto diet or whatever and they lose all this weight and they're like this, and then they like, but I still have to eat like this. And I'm like, no, if I can get in this bikini and look like this in this bikini, I'm eating a funnel cake. And you have to work so hard or you go right back to boot.
Yeah.
You just blow right the hell up. I was like, no.
Size tiny so then I can go out to eat and be like, I'm eating this, this, and this, and I feel like nobody's gonna be looking at me.
You could do it for like one day.
Okay, I get it. Yeah. I could never, I am not a diet person. It does not. I tried to do that like this like 70-day challenge that was on TikTok where it's like to work out every day, no breaks, and journal and drink a gallon of water and stuff like that. And I was like, this is unsafe.
How many days did you make it?
I did like 2 to 3 weeks before I was
Okay.
like, no, I was like, this isn't safe. Because then I would get like super tired, and then I was doing a show at the same time, and it was cold outside, and then I was like, this is stressful.
Dieting can be very, very stressful. I tell people all the time, I swear I've been on a diet since I was like 5. So like
I know how it
I
works.
know all of them. I could be a dietitian right now. Like I know exactly what your body needs. I know how many calories is in there. I can tell you everything you want to know. How many carbs is that? If you're trying to do keto, you need to go on and put that down. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You want a 100-calorie diet? I'll pick out. I can make your plate. I know exactly what goes into all the foods, and then just sometimes you just get tired. You just get tired of thinking about it. That's why that's where I am in this very moment. It's just I'm just tired of fucking thinking about it right now.
Yep.
This is one more thing to think about.
I did intermittent fasting, and that was only because that was the hours I could eat anyway, because I was like, too much. And then what I really did it for was because I would get out of rehearsal at like 11 o'clock and like want to go get a taquito, and I was like, I know this isn't good for me. So then I was like, cool, I guess I'll just call this intermittent fasting.
So you put all your calories right there.
Yep. So
like calories in, calories out. So it's like it doesn't matter what the calories are. Whatever. Technically, you could just like eat a pack of, I don't know, Oreos or something, and that equaled up to the number of calories in a day. But it's like it's the nutritional value, I guess. It's not there, but they change the nutritional values every 5 minutes. So it's like, which one? Don't eat it, eat it.
That's just too much.
Eat the fish, don't eat the fish. Because my stepmom was telling me yesterday, she was like, she gets a bonus at her job for having low cholesterol or something like that. Like, I don't know. And she didn't get it because her good cholesterol was high, even though her bad cholesterol was low. But technically she had high cholesterol, but it was the quote unquote good cholesterol. Yeah. So it was like, isn't that good? Don't I want a lot of good cholesterol? If that's the case. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional.
I'll take some of that. I'm just trying to imagine like where we worked at. They had us check our cholesterol at that job.
Nobody get a bonus. Even the skinny people.
I'm not doing it today.
It's okay. I don't need it. You can keep your money. That's what be tripping me out the most is when like skinny people have medical problems. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, is there no hope? Because I remember some like years ago, I don't know her name, but there was this Playboy model. And you think Playboy bunny, they're going to look like what you think you're supposed to look like or what people think you're supposed to look like. Tiny waist, big boobs, some sort of behind. And she like had a heart attack. And I'm just like, well, shit.
Just eat a cheeseburger. It was like that would make me so mad if I got like super skinny and then it was just like, I still like have all this like heart problems or something like that. I'd be like, well, what was the point?
Right. And like the guy from Biggest Loser, one of the trainers, Bob Harper, I want to say his name is, he had like a heart attack or a stroke or something. And I'm just like, if he don't know.
Yeah.
Just like what
he was supposed to be telling us all what to do. Yeah.
And I saw this meme that was like, so you work out and you exercise and you eat right and but you're still gonna die. I'm just like, no.
Just eat the burger. It's like there's this TikTok. I hate that I've become this person that's like, there's this TikTok. There's this TikTok sound where it's like this girl being like, there's 2 girls supposed to be dieting. And they're like, girl, how's this diet going? And she's like, girl, I'm eating a salad. And she's got this big burger that she's eating. And then she's picking up fries and she's like, I'm just pretending these tomatoes are French fries.
Yes, I've been that girl. Where I was trying to be like with my friend doing something. I'm like, it's hard, girl. I've been that girl. What you eating? Oh, just a piece of fish and some broccoli.
Wishing around like this tea. She's like, I'm wishing this water was tea right now, girl. Ooh, I know you love your sweet tea. She's like, girl,
I think I've been that girl before, and I think my friend was actually being that girl too. We were being that girl together. We're like, yeah, totally. I totally am keeping on to this meal plan that we picked out. Or maybe I did have the meal plan food and then I had that too. TikTok confuses me. I've been trying because I took this comedy class not too long ago, and one of the dudes in the comedy class is like, you gotta up your social media game. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, that's the hard part. It's like, it's fun. Like, I like Instagram. I like to look at pictures and, double click the heart. And then you go on Facebook and I'm still double clicking the heart, but it doesn't work because my elderly brain can't comprehend that, this is not the same application. And I tried to look at the TikTok and I have a TikTok, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. I look at the little things and I start to like, like I'll do a recording and I was like, A, I don't want to look stupid. B, I don't want this to go viral. C, and I was like, shouldn't you want it to go viral? But it's like, I don't want it. Like, even just doing this, like knowing that I'm putting my own stuff on YouTube stresses me out. Like, it's forever. The internet is forever. And I don't know if I want this clip of me doing something stupid to end up on like Ellen. I don't know if I want Jimmy Fallon making fun of my TikTok video. Like, and I know I'm not doing any full body shit. It's all going to be here. All Brittany angles all the time.
Brittany angles. Oh, Brittany in those videos.
She just does this twirl thing. I was like, I wish I had whatever she's having right now, because she just does this twirls. And I'm just like, and she does this like thing where she like tries on clothes and just switches back. And I'm like, I should make a video like that, but I'm never going to.
She has like millions and billions of likes.
Of course, she's Brittany.
I love Brittany. And I'm one of those millions and billions of
right.
Likes. Sometimes I'll be like, didn't I just like this video? It's the same thing. She
wanted the same video.
I'll like it again.
Mm-hmm. She wears this little, she's in with the peasant tops, the little crop top peasant top situation. I'm like, it. Where do you get all these from?
I'm like, someone must be making these for her. Like, I want them in red and blue and white. That's it.
That's it. It's so interesting, like watching her and like her personality, because it's like we haven't really heard her say anything since, she was, the Pepsi days. Like, we haven't really heard her talk. And even then it was, very staged or whatever, probably, this is what you say when you go out there, and, this is how your interview is supposed to go, and say this and stay here. And now she's just saying whatever. And everybody's like, the hell is she talking about? And I'm like, she's just people.
I can imagine that kind of life though. People like her and like Beyonce and MJ, like having it when you were like a kid.
Yeah. I can't. It's what I always wanted, but I don't know.
I know. I think so too. I'm like, oh man, as a kid, that's what I wanted to do. And now I'm older. I'm like, I'm so glad. Woo.
And I'll be trying to get it now, but like also I'm very like, I'm super shy. Like I'm very nervous about like putting myself, out there in that way. That's why I don't make the TikToks. Like
the TikTok.
Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be making the TikToks. That's what people keep saying. You need to up your social media game and get the things. And I was like, I really don't know what to do that I would be like even comfortable doing. And I'm like, who cares? Like, there's 100 people doing that same audio.
I feel like my problem with TikTok is that like I can't upkeep it. Like, some people are like, I know someone on there who's like trying to go viral on TikTok and is constantly uploading, and they're funny things. But for me, I'm like, I upload when I have an idea, and I'm like, oh, that's funny. I'm surprised no one's done that yet, or they probably have. They tell me I got a lot of views, and then I'll do it, and I'm like, cool. Whenever I have time to think of another idea, I'll do it. Like right now, my new thing's been doing like stage management TikToks. Like, I'll like hear a sound. I'm like, what would that be like the stage management equivalent of? And that's been kind of like, I've enjoyed doing that, but then I'm like, I don't want to keep having to do that. Like, it took a lot of time. Then I got like ask people for me or something. And I'm like, I gotta come up with another idea. I'm like, no. I just do it when it comes to me, and then I do it, and that's it. But then people are like, you just gotta keep it going. I'm like, it's the upkeep of it, I think, that I'm like,
yeah.
Like, people, I'm like, oh, this is what made you viral. Let me see what else you've been doing. And I'm like, you have to keep up with that.
Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah. That's why like I don't want to go viral for something like quirky like that. I want to go viral just for like talking. I can keep talking.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Let's do something weird. And like that's what Tiffany does.
Yeah.
She stands in her head.
I'm a TikTok girl, and I'm like, that is not what I want to be known for.
This is like a lot of work.
This is like so much work.
I mean, I guess that's why they eventually get paid for it, because it is a lot of work. I think if I sat there and I thought about it, I would probably do it kind of like I'm doing this podcast, is that I'm just recording whenever people have time or whatever. And, you know, now I'm just like stacking interviews up. So it's like, well, yours will, 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm like scheduling them, and I put them like once, like every Saturday, because I was like, I'm not going to commit to like 2 or 3 times a week. Like, I know I'm not going to. I know I would have like quit by now if I had told myself, oh, I'm going to upload on Wednesdays and Fridays. And then, you know, I was like, no, Saturday. And then, you know, I was lucky that, you know, my friends and people were willing to come talk to me and schedule ahead of time. So it's like, now I have episodes through January because I've already done them. They're just like sitting in there now. So it's like, maybe that's what a TikTok would do. Like, you just take one good day or whatever and just like film a bunch of them and just hold on to them and then just release them.
Has to be what people do. Because when I had my old podcast, we would record once a week, and that would be the episode we put out, because we try to do current events too.
Yeah.
So we had to do that, and I'm like, that is stressful. So like this next one that I have coming up, it has nothing to do with like current events. So we're like recording a bunch of stuff, so then we can just like pop them out when we have them, or like take more time to edit it and like think about it. And it's like, it's so much nicer to not have to like have that turnaround of being like recording this today and it has to be edited and up like by a certain day.
Yeah, because I look at like, do you listen to Bailey Sarian?
I love Bailey Sarian. I love her.
I accidentally fell into Bailey Sarian. I think it's my sister's fault because, you know, I don't wear makeup. So what do I care about what people are putting makeup on? And I don't generally like scary things, especially realistically scary things where things could really happen or have happened and they could happen to me. That scares me the most. Mm-hmm. So my kids were really surprised that I was listening to it. And I think it was on accident, because I think the algorithm of Facebook or something had something to do with it. I think my sister was watching it, and then it popped up and it recommended, and I accidentally watched it, and then I kept watching them.
I was like,
yay, pandemic.
I may have added to your recommended of Bailey.
Okay. So we'll blame you too. It was Tiffany and Stephanie. They're the reasons why. And so like now it's like I've watched, I think maybe every episode that she did before, because like, you know, I had a lot of free time apparently, and I would listen to them while I was in the car. So I'm not really watching her put the makeup on. I'm just listening to the story. And I was like, I don't know why I like her voice. I don't know if in any other circumstance I would have just like picked it out. But for some reason I listened to her dark histories and stuff like that.
Hey, have you started the podcast?
Yeah, I listened to it on the YouTube too. So yeah. Because I paused my Audible subscription, although this podcast is available on Audible. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up in January. I paused it for a little bit.
Sounds like you're into an ad.
An ad for myself. Mm-hmm. This podcast is available on iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, iTunes, etc., etc., etc. It sounds like I'm doing something. But I don't even know how she does it. Like every week, you got to have a team. I think if we had a team, it would be a lot easier to pop them out, because she probably started off like kind of maybe by herself, like setting it up, and maybe with her fiance or boyfriend that she talks about a lot. But then eventually it's like, now I know she has like a team with like somebody who does the camera and the lighting and this, that, and the third. Oh, so yeah.
Well, she takes off one, she always skips a Monday every month, because she would be like, I cannot keep doing this all the time and not take one Monday off a month. And I'm like, yes, girl. But yeah, especially for the Dark History podcast, like there's a whole group of people, and now she's doing something else with like Netflix, where she watches like a random episode of a true crime show and like tries to get who, like the killer was or something. And I'm like, she is working.
Yeah.
Like, Murder Makeup Mystery Mondays, what a concept.
And like, there's so many similar to her now.
That's only one Bailey Sarian.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know who did it first, but they aren't keeping up. And so I thought about for a second doing makeup on a video or whatever, but it's like, I don't know how to do makeup. So that would probably be my thing, is trying to put on eyeshadow like under my glasses and looking very awkward, because that's what it looks like when I put on makeup, is I don't know what I'm doing. I don't wear makeup, and so I don't know how it works. And my friend is like, I know you really don't know makeup, when you said, is it the dry one or the wet one? Like the stuff you put on before you put on stuff. And I was like, is the wet one or the dry one? And she was like, you really don't wear makeup. I said, I really don't, but I own some quality makeup from Ulta.
I YouTube and video stuff, like I can come up with concept ideas, but like the actual execution of it all is like beyond my brain. But my co-host for my new podcast coming out, she does YouTube. Like she understands YouTube. She's a dancer and started her own dance company and would do YouTube, put all of her content out on YouTube. And she knows how to like edit them all and whatnot, and has like all the programming for it. And she's like, I'll take care of all of the YouTube end of our stuff if you can take care of like the sound and like editing that and posting it for us. And I was like, good, because she's like, I'll do TikToks for us too. She was like, I get TikTok. And I was like, great. You're doing all of those things.
My son edits my videos. I edit the audio. It's like I can listen to it and clip things out that I hate and put sounds in. Sometimes I can't get I don't do like, I can't do this like random sounds or whatever, like, all that kind of stuff. I don't know how that works, but it's not necessary. It's not what we're doing. But I let him edit the video that I put on the YouTube. I'm very glad he understands that. I love how it sounds very old when I say that. That's why I do it. The YouTubes.
I can tell you how to add I've done like beeps over things where like we've said something or we've said someone's name that we should not have said their name, and so like I've just covered it with a beep. I'm like, edit that out.
Wow, look at you. You're really doing something. So you have the podcast that starts in January, so right after the holidays and the new year. What is the name of your podcast?
This Is Why You're Single.
Sounds good.
So me and one of my best friends, Nicole, we were just kind of like talking about like dating, and we have very different dating styles of like how we go about dates. We are very different in our attachment style. She has an anxious attachment style, and I have a very avoidant attachment style.
Okay.
And so we were just like kind of comparing that, and I am a big astrology buff, and gotten into astrology as well, which is where I'm kind of learning to do like tarot, learning to read people's birth charts, and learning to be like, okay, what are your big three? What does it say about you and whatnot? So we were like, let's take all that we've been talking about, like dating and like the just trash men that we've been seeing on these like dating apps.
Yeah.
And we would always be like, this is why this guy is single. This is why he's single. This is why he's single. And we're like, well, why don't we just like talk to people and be like, tell us about your dating life. We'll tell you what your like attachment style is, what that means, what your sign is, what that means. And we'll say this is probably why you're single. Just probably, because we're not dating experts.
I mean, who really is? I don't trust those people.
We're like, we're not a professional. We're really after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is actually this is probably why you're single. This is probably
okay. So this is probably why you're single is the name of it. Okay. I like it. I remember I saw the picture when you posted it, and I was like, oh, that looks so cute. I'm already jealous of how cute it is. It's so cute.
Yeah, so we're like, let's just talk to people, figure them out, and figure ourselves out while we're doing it. And we're going to be talking about like our dating, but it's also forcing us to go on dates.
Okay, so you're not just going on past experience, but you're going to currently go out with people.
Not
old people.
Not old people.
Not old people. We're done with those. Do not go back in time. We do not go backwards.
No. At first I thought you were saying like old people, like someone like
well,
old, and I was like, did I date some old dude one time?
Yes, you did actually, but elderly only if they have money. Elderly is only good if they have money. but not if they're people they know have money. That is no use to you. You need personal money.
Personal money. Yeah.
Personal money.
I've never dated personal money.
See?
I've dated adjacent money.
We need personal
I need
monies.
personal money. Yeah.
If there is also adjacent money, like old money and new money, like that's good too. Like if they take the old money and build up, but also don't go back in time. So anybody that I have known you to talk to is completely off limits.
No, never.
For several reasons. They were unattractive, inside and out.
Inside and out.
I was very disappointed.
It was like therapy. I would just like come over to you and tell you about these like garbage men, and yeah.
I would take my experience of dealing with garbage people and try to impart some advice to you so you do not follow my footsteps. I have made tragic mistakes in the realm of dating, and that's why I haven't dated anybody in like 5 years. It'll be probably in January. I refuse until I'm the me that I want to be, so that I can project that and get the person that I want. Then I don't want to fool with them. That's what I've decided.
My thing now is I am no longer like, I've just started doing this thing where like I'll look at someone, I'm like, can I take them home to my family and my family won't make fun of him? Because my family would have made fun of some of those men.
They should have. And they should.
And I think I should also say, would JPK make fun of this man? That should be the standard.
If somebody is good to you and you don't come to me with a sad story first, because most of those, the only time I knew about them was they already messed up. Then
that's so true.
Then I don't have to judge them automatically, because I can be like, okay, oh, that's so sweet. And then they mess up. And then we see, is it worth keeping after the mess up? But I only met the mess up. And so I was like, no.
They only showed me the mess up, and I was like, that's okay. But that's part of my avoidant attachment, though. Like, that's what I was starting to learn as I was actively, I was like, because I would tell my therapist, I'm like, why am I only finding these men that are blah, 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 blah? And she's like, no. You are avoidant attachment. You are seeking these men who you know can't actually be sustainable because you don't think that you deserve it or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. I get it. How do I fix it?
I have like, I definitely have like some commitment issues. Probably why I would like people who are more emotionally unavailable, not like unavailable in the sense that they definitely have somebody else, because I don't do cheating if I'm aware of said cheating, but like that they probably don't want me, and then for some reason I really want them to want me, and then and then I had this thing for a long time where I would, in a sense, become that person. Like I would take on, that's why I became more angry, was because I took on the traits of somebody else who I was focused on, he had a lot more anger issues, and I didn't really have them. Very sweet. But in a way, I grew from that to not take people's trash. So in a way, I got something from going ahead and letting myself, get angry and pissed off. But he and that whole situation was just trash. I spent every day, Facebook, we'll put up the stupid thing. We're like, you have some memories. And I'm like, I don't want them. This is why I don't go to therapy, because I don't want them to be in my brain. I don't want them. I want to forget them. I don't want to bring them up and go through I don't care. I want them to go away. So I go through to the bottom and I'm like, okay, 2010, delete. I delete memories every day because I never want to see them. I don't want them to exist.
I feel you on that though. I was like, actually last night I was going through old photos that I had posted on Twitter, and I found some old photos of old guys that would post on my Twitter and be like, I'm so happy. Look how like happy I am. And I was like, he was trash. Like,
yeah.
There's this one thing I like showed this, like I tweeted this photo of this guy and a bunch of like his hats.
Uh-huh.
And then I thought about how like I started to like buy like hats that like he wore. And I would
Yeah,
like
why do we do
like
that?
I would dress a certain way and I'm like, this guy doesn't even have a real job.
Right.
Why am I doing this?
Yes. Why am I into things that I would normally not be into? It's
Yeah.
like I do have this folder on Facebook from when I dated this one guy for I think a month. And we call him the cockeyed guy because he was cockeyed. And he disturbed me the most because he lived in Dallas and he's the subject of one of my favorite jokes that I do about how much I hate going to Dallas and how that date was just tragic and I'm trying to breathe and I should have known that he was not for me because he lived on the 3rd floor. Several reasons, because the 3rd floor is for poor people and it's not for safety. The 3rd floor is for poor people and
So you're talking to a girl who always moves at the top floor.
I'm poor people, but I don't want to look like poor people, so I will at least go to the 2nd. And also, I'm trying to breathe. I can't breathe going up there. It was very disrespectful for me to have to drive to Dallas, go up, to the 3rd floor.
First, he made you drive all the way to Dallas.
All the way to Dallas.
Audacity to be like, oh, you just finished that half hour, maybe a 45-minute drive? Walk 3 flights of steps.
Right.
Kidding me?
And then I have to go back down.
And then drive back.
And drive back. Crazy. Audacity. And his family had money and he didn't. And that was disturbing, which is why I'm telling you, if you're going to go for money, if you're going to go for love, whatever. But if you're going to go for money, you want current money. That they're making.
No, that's how I've messed up in the past.
Mm-hmm. You want old, you need current money because sometimes their parents do not support them like other rich people's kids. Like some rich people's kids, their parents give them money and they can still live like rich people. And some of them get cut off and they're like, do your own thing.
Yeah.
So
figure it out or we're not going to pay for you anymore.
No. He's like, what about me? What about Tiffany? I'm so sweet. Don't you love me? You can cut him off to take care of me. I'm your new daughter.
Yeah.
But I never met his parents.
Like, I think I could get this family to fall in love with me. Even if he left me, but I didn't work quick enough.
Oh no. But I have a folder on Facebook somewhere. I think I still haven't deleted with pictures because I was cute. And it was the time I went to a Yankees game. And like, I always wanted to go to a Yankees game, even though I stopped really caring about sports that hard years ago. You need to yawn.
No, I did it already.
Okay. I was like, do you need to yawn? Do we need to, what do we need to do? Go ahead and do it.
No, I do that all the time. Like, even like in the middle of the day, I'll just be like sitting and like my yawns don't indicate, like, it's so weird. It doesn't even indicate that I'm sleepy or anything. It's just like my body just being like, we should do this right now. What?
Well, yawning, is oxygen.
Weird. Huh?
It's your brain seeking oxygen for whatever reason.
Brain's like, breathe. And I always feel guilty because I always don't want people thinking I'm just like, I'm so tired. I don't want to be here. And I'm like, no, my brain's I'm like,
I'm tired. I'm bored. Please, moving on.
I was also thinking about like, dang, I've never been to a Yankees game, and I really want to go to a Yankees game one day too.
It was fun, despite all the walking. That was also very rude. That's what I learned. It's like, if you're not, I was like, don't date skinny guys, is what I just got through. But also, I can't date big guys because I have other reasons. It's not, I don't know how it fits, which is another one of my favorite jokes. It's just like, I don't date big guys because I don't think it's like ergonomically correct or something. I'm looking for his, he can't find mine. Like, it's just too many things. We're both trying to breathe. It's not like, it's like, how do you sexy and you can't breathe? It's very weird.
I'm looking for his, he's looking for mine. I like a good mid-sized dude.
I can't do titties. If I was going to do titties, I'd gonna be a lesbian. That's another reason why I don't do big guys. I don't want to roll over and find anybody's boobies but mine. And even these are hard.
Shouldn't be a bra.
I don't want to share bras with you.
I like a good mid-sized dude. So then, like, sometimes I feel like if a guy's too skinny, I feel like he's gonna snap. Not I'm not like one of those girls that's like, oh, I think like I'm gonna break this dude. Like, no, fuck that. I don't feel that way. I feel like he's gonna like walk in like a gust of wind. It's gonna like blow him over, and I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
what? Or like if we're, like, out and about and like we get robbed, and I feel like I have to protect you.
Yeah.
We
And
can't do that. I need to
I also like baby chest. I can't do baby chest either. You have to look like an adult now. I'm too old. Too old for that.
I'll have to ask you this after we're done, because I feel like you used to call someone I dated that.
Baby chest. It's quite possible. I don't know that I've seen anybody who dated chest, but I could guess that they probably did have a baby chest.
You called him something, baby something. I don't remember what. Oh, that just
I'll have to think about it.
familiar. It just feels very familiar. You know, I don't when I date a guy, I don't use their real name. I always give them nicknames, like some sort of nickname. I used to always do homebro for some reason. I'd be like, oh yeah, me and homebro did this, me and homebro did that. Or I've like referred to men based off of the car they've driven or things like that. Like, I don't like refer to them as like something. And Nicole was like, saw this TikTok that was like, if you, I think it was a TikTok, something about like, if you like always give these guys nicknames, you give a guy a nickname, that means like you don't take it seriously and you actually don't want to be with them. Like you'll use their real name if you actually want to be with them. They're like, it's another avoidant thing. And I was like, oh, that tracks. That's why I would
Yeah, because you don't want to be really truly associated with that person. It's like, no, I don't know who that is. It's Bag Boy.
It's
It's Green Lexus. I went out with Green Lexus yesterday because then nobody can prove it.
Yeah.
Anybody can have one of those. Toyota
Exactly.
Camry.
Yeah, I just like to see their names, and I'm like, if I give them a name, it like makes them like a real human. And I'm like,
And have feelings.
Yeah, and then I don't have to be like, because I know these men are usually trash. So then I can be like, oh, I didn't even use his real name, like whatever.
Yeah. You can brush it off on the inside. Like I don't really have feelings for this person because I don't even remember his name. I love that I can't remember people's names. Like they didn't even exist, which I already decided. Like, I don't know if you've ever played, well, probably not because I made it up, but you too can be a virgin. You too can be a virgin again, which virginity is just a construct. But this is what I decided, which was one of my like older jokes, was that like I'm basically just like a virgin. Like if you can count everybody that you've been with in like one hand, then you're a virgin. But really you can start like wheedling them down from that point. Because if there aren't any, pictures or videos or children, there's really no proof that you did it.
I think you told me that one time in a meeting. You're like off
of course it worked.
In shock. And you're like, no, girl, you're still a virgin. Yeah. And you were like telling me, you're like, nah, that doesn't count. And like you're like listing off the reasons why like this guy didn't count at all. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because basically I've only been with one guy and we only had, relations twice, and I have 2 children. That's all you know.
Yeah. I've never. Yep. Nope. Never done it.
You don't have any kids. If there's no video, there's no physical proof that I did anything. You can't prove that I actually did that. It's just some weird memory that you have.
Yeah.
You dreaming about me? It's strange.
Oh,
you can't remember his name, if you didn't feel it, if you can't remember the experience, if it was trash, if it was not up to your liking, they don't have to count.
Yep.
If it didn't go beyond that moment, it didn't count. It only happened once. It didn't even happen at all.
I was like, it only happened once. I was laughing because I always say that a joke that I have is that like men will be so like offended if you're like, yeah, well, we had like sex one time. And they're like, we had sex 3 times in one night. And you're like, yeah, we had one time. They're like, 3 times one night. And I'm like, oh my God, we had sex once.
Once. It was one moment in time.
And it's like, calm down.
Now imagine when you tell them that doesn't even count, that it never happened. What are you talking about?
I did. Are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. Oh.
Are you sure that was me? Yeah.
Let's find some other light-skinned girl out there. You think we all look alike.
Yeah. There's a lot of people named Tiffany. Are you sure it was me? I don't know. Do I have a mole here? Can you prove it? Is there a picture?
This one time, this guy just started telling people that we did, and we really didn't. And I was like, oh my God. No. I was like, I've never slept with this man. I was like, men are trash. And like everyone believed me. They're like, yeah, we figured.
And if you did that, you can have as many relations as you want to with as many people as you want to in your life as you want to. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, or somewhere in between, or non-male or female.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Just do you. Just, do it safely. But I do believe, just on a personal thing, that's like you do sometimes like catch a spirit or something of that person for a little bit. So like on a personal level, just be careful who you're with for yourself. Not to say that you're like a slut or a hoe or whatever, because men be the biggest hoes. Not all men, but some men be the biggest hoes. So, and men can be sluts too. So
yeah, they can. They only want to call women them. But yeah, no, I feel that. I tell friends too. I'm like, I'm like, do whatever you want. I was like, I like to have fun. So, like it's fine. Do what you want. Just be careful. Just don't catch feelings where you shouldn't catch feelings, because it can happen biologically. It could just fucking happen, and it sucks when you do. But
yeah, this is a trash guy with a great time. He's really good at some things. It's always the trash dudes that are really good at things.
Yes.
So that, like, I think they know that they're trash.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got to be good at something because I'm a horrible person.
Right.
What can I do to trap this woman? Mm-hmm. Because they're not going to stay otherwise once they figure out who the heck I am.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
And like the lies that they even tell themselves and like try to convince you of. Like I had a guy that was like, I hope, because I know that I'm not good. Like I know that I'm just like, you deserve better than me. But I just hope that they can like do for you what I could do for you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you are garbage. And you are not God's gift to the world.
When somebody tells you that they're not good enough for you, just go ahead and believe them. They know.
They're telling you. I take myself so much time in some relationships. I just listen to these men be like, I'm not good.
I'm a horrible person. I've been there too. I've had somebody tell me constantly, I'm horrible. I'm a horrible person. I don't know why you talk to me. And I'm like, no. Because that's when you're like, no, you're great. Or, I can fix it. Or, you don't see yourself. Don't talk about yourself like that. But it's like, no, you're right. You are a garbage person. I get it now. Thank you.
The amount of times I should have told God, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You are. You're instead of being like, no, he's like, people are probably like, what is she doing with me? And I'd be like, no, there's no way. They probably were. You're right.
You're right.
You know who you are. They were thinking, what was she doing with you? They told me later.
Yeah. It's like, I get it now. Hindsight is 2020. My vision is clear. I see it now. Yeah. That's so funny. So you picked, so the title of your episode is A Big Girl's Guide to Protecting Your Heart. And you picked Big Girl Rule number 972. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Beware of the bottom feeders. Why did you pick that rule, Tiffany?
I picked that rule because I feel like it's the rule that I'm going into the new year with, because I feel like I knew that I couldn't just come up in here and lie to you and be like, I have this down packed, because my dating history, that I have gone for bottom feeders. I have dated the bottom feeders, so I'm here to tell you, it's just not worth it. There's so many times where I've been like, this guy's been so amazing and he was trash now, and like, how will I ever find anyone? Oh, who's that?
Yeah.
And like, I have to remind myself that there are other like single hot dudes out there that I just like. I think as a bigger girl too, we're made to believe that we should just like settle for like whatever guy gives us attention.
Yeah.
Whether we think he's super hot or right or perfect or not, we should just be happy that a man is giving us attention.
Yeah.
And no, like I fully say fuck that. Like I think even like we also have this added power of being able to like say no, and then like, you know, these men get so angry and they're like, "Oh, you're supposed to like me, blah 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 blah." No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All right. Like,
Why should I?
why should I? Why should I? And that's one of the energy I'm taking into the new year. It's just like I'm not going to feel like any man who gives me attention, like I have to be like grateful or like
Yeah.
try if I don't want to try with that person.
Yeah.
And so, as someone who spent a lot of their life with these bottom feeders, like my eyes are just really opening up to being like, there are actually a lot of men out here.
Yeah.
Really are. And like, I heard this comedian one time say there's a pot for every lid, and there really is. Especially when I watch shows like Love After Lockup.
Oh
And I'm
no.
like, ooh, there is a there's a lid for every pot. That's, oh yeah, there's a lid for every pot. And I'm like, what makes me so different? Like, with all the things that I have to offer as a woman, which is a lot of wonderful things, in my humble opinion, I'm like, I'm not going to settle for these like trash men. And I think a lot of that too is helpful with like starting this new podcast is talking about it and seeing like other women having these same experiences.
Yeah.
Thin women, bigger women, mid-sized women, whatever it is. Like we're all dealing with these same trash men.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and we are. I have a whole folder on my phone of Tinder profiles that I have read that I've just been like, this is what you're leading with? Like
Right.
this is the first thing. And so, you know, one of the things that me and my co-host have decided is that we're gonna go get these like dating profiles. And I was like, you know what? Like, if you don't pique my interest very quickly, next. Next.
It's so funny looking at dating profiles. I can always tell, like I could pre catfish people for them. Like I could be like, this person is going to be a catfish. This person is going to be trash for you. Like I can look and I can tell that
Yeah.
this person is going to be a waste of your time. Also, you know, you don't pick a guy who has, you know, a fish
No fish.
in his
Fish.
profile. If he has children and he's not somebody's father, if he's posing next to some exotic animal, he's got a lot of dogs, he's trying to emit these emotions in you. He's trying to get you to feel like, oh, he's so sweet and he loves animals, and really he probably kicks puppies. Like
Group shots, like if every photo is like a group shot, and I'm like, well, which one are you? You're not
yeah,
the hot one. You're not the hot one. If you were
right.
the hot one, the photos of you by yourself.
Right. And you know what's crazy about guys is they can hide. Like they talk about women and their makeup and hiding like all this stuff, but guys hide their bodies better than anybody.
Oh yeah.
They're always skinny fat. Like you always look at him and you're like, oh, he looks okay in his clothes. But the minute you see those clothes come off, it's like, excuse me, sir.
Yes. Oh my
But
God.
like you can like I always used to ask guys when I would go on like online dates, like, do I look like what you thought I was going to look like? And it would always be yes. And I'm like, thank you. I was not fooling you. Yes, big girls will take a picture of our face because a lot of times that's the moneymaker. This is what's comfortable. I like my face. Okay. And you don't need to see everything at once anyway. But you can tell looking at me from here up that I'm not skinny. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that I am. I'm not going to lie. But guys, they be fooling. And they put pictures on there from like 20 fucking years ago.
Yep. That's not really what you look like now. I remember I matched with this one dude and I went on a date with him and I was like, I don't see you. He's like, I see you. And I was like, I don't see you. Oh, that's not what you look like. That's just not it. That's just not it. We should take a photo for you right now. Like I should do that. Let me take a photo for you right now for your Tinder profile because you need to update your pictures. And he'll be like, aren't we on a date? I'm like, yeah, no, this has changed. We've changed the plot of what's happening here. I'm here to help you now figure your life out. It's insane. And like guys they're like, well, you wear makeup or like, I feel like you didn't. I haven't had a guy yet tell me that I look different than what I've presented on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, that terrifies me if someone saying that to me. So I'm like, this is what I look like me. But yeah, I'm not a big dating profile fan just because like I was saying earlier, I suck at writing bios, but I
Yeah.
also don't like I hate small talk. I hate small talk. And I had a guy one time that was like, if you were a dinosaur, what type of dinosaur would you be? And I was like, oh, that's what an interesting question. I don't know a lot about dinosaurs. Let me like look up. So I gave him an answer and I was like, okay, I'm proud of this answer. Here we go. And I was like, what kind of dinosaur would you be? And his response to me was, oh, I don't really know anything about dinosaurs.
What? Why'd you pose the question?
You garbage. And I still went on a date with him. Nowadays, he would be like, gosh, move on, next.
Secretly, I thought you were going to say that you told him like pterodactyl or something and he was like, wrong answer. Like that's like there's a right answer to that question. And that was not it.
Well, there most definitely was a wrong answer, and that was his answer. I'm like, if you don't know, why would you
just pick a dinosaur?
I would have just said yes. I would have been like, oh, okay. But like, yeah, I'm
unless
like,
it was T-Rex, and then I have questions.
I'm like, oh, what's with the arm? Yeah, no. Or Velociraptor. I think I'd be scared. I'm like, are you a Scorpio? Is that why you said Velociraptor? God. And as a woman who's been with a lot of Scorpio men, I'm just like, avoid. I can write a dissertation on Scorpio men. I understand them so well. And they're
my ex-husband was a Scorpio. And I thought it was good only because I've read that Pisces and Scorpio go together, but I don't know if that's true. Because I was like, my biological daddy, my daddy is a Scorpio, and my mom is also a Scorpio. But my mom is a Scorpio in like traditional astrology or whatever, but she's also a dragon in like Chinese astrology. And she totally is a Scorpion dragon. She is not to be played with at all. I am a fish and a dog. I'm the most loyal, sweet people you'll ever meet in your whole life. How much, like, what is your sign again? Because you're born in March.
I'm an Aries, so I was gonna say I'm a ram, but in Chinese, I'm a monkey. So I'm all over the place.
My youngest is a lion and a monkey.
Chaotic energy.
It's a lion monkey, and the other one is a horse crab. It's a Cancer.
Yeah, I have this is what this tattoo is. It's a cat. Because I love cats. It was this woman, Snakes and Roses on Instagram, and she had drawn these cats and gave them like each sign. So they have like this cat with like the ram for the Aries on top.
Is that new?
Like, that. I got it this summer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn into a little sleeve. So I have a little cat on my arm. There's a little moon necklace on it. I always tell people,
and you have your moon over there too, right?
Other moon over here. I always tell people, I'm like, I love moons. I have 2 moons on my body. I love cats. I have a cat on my body. And people are always like, oh, crazy cat lady cat. And I show them. They're like, oh, okay, that's not really what I anticipated when you said you had a cat. I'm like, I'm still a crazy cat lady cat.
It's very different. Oh, that's another thing. You don't want a guy that's got a butler or cat. This is weird. A woman can do it. It's very sexist of me. I'm sorry, but it's very strange. I don't know how I'd feel like a bunch of animals. It's weird.
Like, if you have a dog, I have to make sure your dog will get along with my pets. Like, if your dog tries to eat my cat, oh my God, I would kill you.
So your coworker, you cannot date because this dog will eat your cat. You have a wolf somewhere, right?
On my body?
Don't you have a wolf? Or you wanted a wolf?
I wanted a wolf.
Okay, I thought you got the wolf.
No. Okay. So, where I got the cat is where I wanted the wolf. Because remember, I wanted the wolf, and then I had my reasons for not ever wanting to get the wolf.
Did somebody else have the wolf?
Did he have? I can't remember. Maybe. Yes. And so I have a wolf.
They ruined it.
You ruined it. And so then I was gonna get a lion, and I had all these like lion tattoos picked out that I was gonna get because I want to turn my left arm into a half sleeve. Okay. So I was gonna do a lion and do a lion, and then I saw this cat, and I was like, "That's what I want."
That's the one.
Spoke to me, and I was like, "That's it." I used to be very like, I have to have a tattoo sit with me for like a couple of years to make sure that's what I really want, blah, blah. Now I'm just like, oh, that was cute. Let's do it.
Okay. And I think I don't know. It's going to be a while before I get tattoos because COVID, and I'm still kind of scared. Shot or no shot. I don't know. But I used to say I would fill up like this, my forearm or whatever but all the ones that I have are like significant to me in some sort of way. And I told I need to find one that goes with my nephew, my youngest nephew, because I have one for my oldest nephew. because he's autistic, and his he got him a chess piece that is his name. I won't say his name, but a chess piece that is somebody's name, and it has the puzzle pieces. And I had my friend Abel draw it, and so I was like, the youngest one, I got to get one. So I thought about letting him draw me one, and then I would get it, whatever. But my sister was like, no, it's gonna be like a dancing banana or something, and you're gonna it's gonna be something ridiculous. So because I got my boys' signs like connected. So there's, I have a Leo and a crab. So it's like connected in some sort of way. But my other nephew is a crab. He's a Cancer too. So I was like, well, I can't have that. I was like, so I haven't figured out what his is going to be yet. My favorite one is back here that I probably will never see. It's a ballerina with angel wings that I had my friend draw. And that one was a bitch. Oh my God, I hated getting that tattoo because I didn't know. I didn't know I had stretch marks back there, and I didn't know that stretch marks hurt. And it was like 4 hours of pain. Like I almost pulled my friend's shorts off because I was grabbing his legs so hard. Oh my God. And it was like so long, and I was like, just leave it, like it's fine, just leave it unfinished. It's a metaphor for my life because I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. It's not done yet. He said, oh, hell no. You're not going to be telling people that I got this half-ass finished tattoo on you and put my name on it. Oh, no, you're finishing it. And it was just like, it's freaking agony. And I think I think that's the last tattoo I got because I was just like, I was dying. I was like, so if there are any girls or guys or whatever that get tattoos and you have some stretch, don't get it on there.
I
agony.
No, I have 4 and none of them have hurt really. But I had a friend who got a tattoo like under her arm, and it's like 2 birds sitting on a branch. And she said the closer it got to her armpit, she's like, the worse it hurt. And they were doing the tail. And she told him the same thing. She's like, do not do the tail. It doesn't need a tail. I don't need a tail. He's like, I am not going to use a half-finished bird on your body. She's like, they don't need a tail. My bird, tail bird. We don't need a tail.
This is for me.
I'm very lucky mine haven't hurt. My nose piercing hurt more than any of my tattoos.
I have a belly button piercing, which my son's always like, why do you have that? Because nobody's ever going to see it. And I was like, this is true. I got it because they were having a sale. It was dollar piercing day. And I went, and my sister was getting her nose pierced. And I was like, I'll get some too. So I always wanted one, even though, obviously great for body positive big girls. I personally just don't show my belly. This is not what I do. It's not cute for me. But that's what you like to do. That's what you like to do. I don't want to not offend people. Hell yeah. I hurt so bad. When I got my nose pierced, it was just like one single, like the fattest tear I've ever seen came out of my eye, just one, and I was fine. But that belly button was the devil. Okay. And that's why it's still in there. So I was like, if I ever want it again, I can't go through that again. I can't. And I've given birth twice, and I can't. I can't do that.
I've had to take my nose piercing out, and when I had like a MRI once, and then they put like a little a spacer in there because they're like, it'll close up really fast. And when I tell you they re-put that, when they put this fucking stud back in my nose, I was like, it feels like you're piercing me all over again. I don't like it. I was like, this hurts. I was like, this is what it is. This is what we have. A little stud. There she is. The only other piercing that I want to do is I want to do like the industrial bar, but like my hair's too curly, and I feel like it would really like get caught in my piercing and hurt me.
It just looked like it would hurt in general. But if you like it, I used to have I think 4 on each ear, and then I took them out when I went to medical assisting school when my son was like a baby. And we had to take them out because we couldn't wear piercings and stuff like that. And then then some of them ended up closing up, and I got one more. And then I used to have my tongue pierced, my tongue pierced when I turned 18. That it did hurt. And I used to work with my brother-in-law, and he would make fun of me all the time because I couldn't talk. And so I go to work and I can't talk. And I remember when I came home from I'd always said I wanted my belly button pierced. So when I came home from getting my tongue pierced, my mom was like, did you get your belly button pierced? And I was like, and I just ran in the kitchen. I was like ran in the bathroom. I was like, I'm not going to talk to her. But eventually I showed her, and she was like, how are you going to be a lawyer? Because that's what I wanted to be. How are you going to be a lawyer with this in your mouth? Like, what is wrong with you? And And then she calmed down. She's like, you could always take it out. You could always take it out. And I ended up taking it out when I had my second son, which I think was his spirit, because he doesn't really care for tattoos and piercings and stuff like that. So he's always trying, but I took it out, because when you go for medical stuff, they make you take all your piercings out, and I just never put it back in. It was honestly kind of annoying after a while. I don't know how people still keep that thing in your mouth.
My older cousin had her tongue pierced. And I remember as a kid, like she had tongue pierced and she had like tattoos. And like she had tongue pierced like my whole life. And I always used to be like, I'm going to get my tongue pierced like my cousin, because I thought she was so cool. I still think she's like one of the coolest people ever. And I'd be like, I'm going to get my tongue pierced like her. And then I got older and I was like, that looks painful. She's like, don't do it. She's like, do not do it. And I was like, okay.
It did hurt.
Yeah.
It did hurt.
I've bit my tongue before and I've been like, ah. Oh, like a needle.
When I was younger, I used to think I wanted to have like a bunch. Like I had it all planned out. I was like, I'm gonna get my nose pierced, my eyebrow pierced, my lip pierced, my tongue pierced. Like I was just like, that's who I'm gonna be. Yep. But I haven't. No, I don't know. I thought about getting my eyebrow pierced when I saw this teacher I worked with last year had his eyebrow pierced, and I was like, is that cute? And I was like, it's probably gonna get on my nerves.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if I can take anything in my face anymore, any more than this.
Yeah, yep. I don't like when it gets caught on clothes. I'm like, ugh. I always wonder if I'm gonna like honor like little Tiffany, like I wanted like stars on the back of my shoulder. I was like, I'm gonna tattoo stars on the back of my shoulder, and I don't know why I always wanted that. So sometimes I'm like, I want to find like a different version of that to do, just to honor what I always said would be my first and only tattoo that I'd ever get. No, not only. I knew I wanted to be covered in tattoos. What? I was like, I want tattoos. And my grandma on my dad's side of the family, me and all my cousins have tattoos, and my cousins are all guys, and they have like full sleeves on both their arms. And my grandma's always like, mm-mm. And when I only had the one shoulder done, I would always stand on the other side of my grandma so she could see my bare non-tattooed shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'd always be like, Grandma, I don't know why all these boys got all these tattoos. And my aunt would be like, yeah, I guess you don't want to turn around, Tiffany. And I was like, shut up. She told us one time, because she knows I have tattoos as well. When she saw my cat, she was like smiling that she saw my arm, and she's like, her eyes got so big. I was like, well, here we are, Grandma.
Oh no.
She would be like, she told us one time, she's like, y'all gonna find out one day those tattoos are gonna be the reason everybody got COVID. And we're like, what are you saying? I'm like, the old black woman logic.
Yeah.
Old black woman logic is my favorite logic of all time. It don't make no sense what you're saying, but they will stand by it, and they're like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you'll end up saying it too one day. So you're gonna be like, yeah, that tattoo is the reason why you sick.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of my friends always tells me, he's like, you are already someone's old black auntie. I'll be like, what's that boy's name that's on that the show with the people on it? And he's like, oh my God. When did you turn into our auntie? And I was like, I don't know, I'm sorry.
My favorite posts now are those ones are like the African American urge to do XYZ, and it'd be like, why doesn't that baby have a coat on? Where is that baby shoes? Who's that baby coughing? Like that. I was like, that is stuff.
That is my favorite thing on Black Twitter right now. Black Instagram, wherever they post it. I love it. I love it so much.
Where is this Black Twitter? They be talking about it like it's a real place.
Like you gotta go to twitter.com/black.
Yeah, like it's like it's a real place, and it's a very concentrated. Okay, we can't talk.
You on air. I gotta tell you the password after it's over. I'll give you the password.
Okay, because there's somebody who speaks for all Black people, speaks for all gay people, speaks for all women. I'm like, who are you?
You missed it. They gave us a new password at the last meeting, the last Zoom call. So okay. I took notes for you.
Okay. I need to catch up. I don't know, but I'm always like, what is this Black Twitter? They're like, you don't want Black Twitter coming for you. And I'm just like, okay, who's on this Black Twitter?
I follow there's like a certain group of people like Kev on stage. He is in Black Twitter. And so like, I follow him and he'll retweet stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm here.
One of these guys that I did a show with, he was telling me how Kev on stage came to the Improv recently, and he's like, he has the most like polite fans of anybody I've ever met. Like everybody's just like super nice and polite. And I was like, well, I'm sure that'd be a nice thing to tell him. You should tell him that before he leaves. Like your plans are so nice. And they tip. He
Nice.
I was not even ready for him to become as big as he was. First he was like this dude I saw.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like a legit celebrity. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
I need to get on my shit.
When he got the check on his Twitter, I was so happy for him because like that's like verified and whatnot. And like I'm part of his Patreon. And I think I'm gonna join the app. I think I'm gonna pay for his streaming service, the Kev on Stage streaming service.
You really are a loyal fan.
I love Kev on Stage. I listen to his podcast every week. The actual podcast, I listen to the bonus episode every week. Him and that chick Angel. I love her so much.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I just see random videos of him and like I follow him on Instagram, but I don't really pay attention to anybody that hard.
You remind me of her a lot. Like when I was listening to like when she joined his podcast, I was like, this reminds me of JPK. Like
so she's got my job. So I should already be famous, is what you're saying. Dang it. It's too late. There's already a me.
Nope. I didn't say y'all are similar to each other, but there's only one you.
Okay.
There's only one you.
Maybe one day it'll be something. I don't know. He's got a lot of hustle. I admire him. I was talking about earlier with the TikTok.
We'll get this podcast on his streaming service.
I got to get on the TikToks and get on the TikToks and the YouTubes. My face.
Oh my gosh.
I wish I could remember my password for MySpace so I could delete that shit. I know it's embarrassing as hell somewhere. Probably not. I mean, I know I didn't say anything like racist or rude or anything like that, but just like it shouldn't exist. Like I just want it to go away.
The fact that I was like a senior in high school when I got my Facebook, because I remember being like, it's not just for college kids anymore. And so sometimes I look back at like my high school postings and I'm like, oh my God, why did I say these things? Or why did I think people cared?
Right. That's when you get those memories and just go back and just delete them hoes. Nobody will ever know.
I laughed too hard at them.
Okay.
I'm like,
screenshot and repost.
It shows me how far I've come and being like I went to like kind of like back to like relationship stuff. I went to a jazz lounge and I had given this guy my number. And like, I don't typically do that. I will admit, I usually only give a guy my number if I am like 90% sure he's going to respond to me. Because I don't need to like be looking at my phone all the time and being like, oh, what happened? No,
yeah.
I'm very sure. Well, he did not respond. He did not text me. And then I feel like the old me would have like harped on that a long time and been like, why was I not like, I would have like tried to count all the reasons why I thought he didn't want to talk to me. And then I feel like I said, like this energy, this like no bottom feeders energy, and not to say that he's a bottom feeder, like, you know,
probably we're going to say this. It's rude.
But I'm like, next.
Thank you, next. Yes.
We don't even know him. Next. He does not have this energy on me. And it's so nice to see that kind of like growth. I think that's why I don't delete some of my stuff sometimes, because I like to see the growth in me and being like, wow, old Tiffany would have like really harped down on these bottom feeders. And like, I'm just really trying to get into a place now, and maybe through like sharing how I'm getting to that place can help others get to that place. I like listening to people's journeys, and it helps me like look at people and be like, wow, that girl used to be like a hot mess, and I look at her, and that helps me feel like, oh, like it's possible to like see people's growth and like no time like the present just to get going. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm really out here trying to see like what this new year brings of just like this continuing in my confidence. Because like I said, like I think it's because I heard this woman say like men just expect plus size girls to just like settle, and I did that. I realized I did that. I looked at myself and I was like, you know, like I'm not the skinniest girl out there, I'm not skinny at all, and like I should just be happy with what I get. And I'm like, no, I should not be happy with what I get. I should not just settle for whatever I have in front of me. Like, that seems ridiculous to me. And, you know, obviously these guys right here that like are hitting on me and think that I'm hot. So, you know, I'm going to go with that kind of energy. and feel myself about that, and then keep going forward. So
The worst is when you bring yourself down to like, this is what I'll deal with, especially if it's like a physical thing, and then his ass is trash. Ugly guys are always trash. This is what happened. I just it's like they get this weird confidence and you build them up or something and they feel good about themselves now, and then they become the worst. And that is the worst. It's like, you ever watch shows and like the guy that cheats,
yep.
horrible. And the
Yep.
girl he cheats on you with, horrible. And you're just like, what? Like, if you're gonna cheat on me, I need an upgrade.
Cheat up. I honestly feel like this last really bad like heartbreak or whatever that I had really changed me. And I was like, I don't want to feel that again. And
Yeah.
it's inevitable to like, part of dating is a risk, and you're risking your heart to be open up like that. But I was like, if I'm gonna have my heart broken over someone, he's not gonna be trash next time. And it's not gonna be like someone just like totally screwed me over like this guy did. I'm not dealing with that again. That was painful and not fun. And it took a long time for me to grow out of it and not be sad by it, and not like get mad if I see like his name somewhere, or like,
Mhm.
not even like if it's of him, but like something similar to it, and I'm like, I'm never doing that again. And you weren't even like, looking back, I'm like, you weren't even all that. Like,
No, they never
you
are, girl.
power, you will never disrupt me like that again. And so I'm like, in this rate, like, you know and it's interesting because I feel like even like the relationship that I was in the longest, which was 5 years, that hurt, but it was a different kind of hurt where I was able to move on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It was a long fizzle out, and this wasn't. And so I'm like, man, I guess you really do just need to like feel that real hard, like
Yeah.
shocker, to be like, yep, nope, not doing that again.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
it,
you do have to hit rock bottom before you're just like,
yeah,
okay, like I can't, I'm not going any lower, and I got to go up from here.
yeah,
One part of protecting your heart is definitely not putting that person on a pedestal. And that
yes,
can go for whatever gender or sex you're dealing with. Do not put that person on a pedestal, because we tend to do that. Like, they're the greatest thing that ever happened to us. We
yeah,
barely even know them. You can be with somebody for 7, 20, 100 years and still not really know them. So it's like, you don't even know them enough to put them up high. And then you're going to see the cracks. And it can go one of two ways: that you feel like you deserve those cracks,
hmm,
or, you just, you know, it falls apart because you can't deal with those cracks. So it's
yep,
just like, you have to like not make people this like God status, and not put people above you, because you're either they're going to, because they're going to fail you in some
yep,
way or another. They're going to, like, because we're human and us, we do. And in some way or another, they might have put you on a pedestal or had these expectations of you. Just like the big girl expectations, a lot of times they expect you that you're going to put out, that you're going to take whatever bullshit they give you, that they can treat you any kind of way. And then when you show them, no, I know who I am and I know my worth. You have to go in there like knowing my worth. Then they're either going to step up because they realize that they're lucky to have you, or they're going to fall back because they realize
yep,
they can't, and it's not worth it to them, and they're going to find some other girl and try to do her raggedy because because they can't get what they want from you at this point. So we got to like not put people on a pedestal.
that
Just
is
like,
that is probably the best way to protect your heart. It is not putting people on a pedestal. And you've seen me do it. You have seen me do it and lie to myself that I wasn't doing it, but I was, and not giving my own self my own worth. And I'm like, that's when I'm going into my new dating style, is putting myself on my pedestal and being like, this is what I expect. And this is what I deserve. And I'm seeing like my friends who are in these great relationships where I'm like, yeah, that's what I'll settle for. I'm not settle for that. I'm not going to stop searching until I find something that's like that, where I'm like, oh, you see what I'm worth.
yeah,
There's just been too many times I've been like a second thought, or like never make someone a priority who's only sees you as an option. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah,
I am not nobody's bookmark. I'm not holding the place for some other person.
yep. I was like, I've already made one guy better for his future wife, and I was like, that's fine, whatever. I did that once. when I was in college. And I, no tea, no shade, good for you, whatever. And then I made someone better for another partner after that later on, and I'm like, oh, never again.
Right. I'm not here to be your teacher in your learning experience. I'm sorry.
I need a model that's already learned.
Yeah. That's one reason I stopped dating. Like, I was just like, because I needed to figure out what my own worth was and like get to a place where I feel good all the way about me, because I feel like that's when I will attract the thing that I want. And I refuse to settle. If I want somebody who is Chris Evans, then dadgummit, I'm not waiting for somebody who's not Chris Evans. Okay, I'm gonna have him. Sorry, Selena. No, I'm just kidding.
Also, like, why you expect, like, you're waiting for someone who you put out what you think you deserve. But I think it also helps because, like, I am a believer that, like, yes, I do agree that what you put out, you'll get back what you think you deserve. But it's not gonna. I don't think it'll always come like right away. So I think once you have your own worth, you're not as affected when that next guy isn't that guy.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I think that's a good way to protecting your heart too. That I'm saying is not putting so much weight into these men. Then you're not going to get hurt when they don't text you back, or when, like, it doesn't go well or whatever. Like, but not in a way that I'm so closed off to it, which I have to be careful with my avoidance attachment style. But, like, also just being able to be like, I'm okay if this one doesn't work out. Like, not me, and I'm not going to question my worth. I'm not going to question my beauty, what I bring to the table. Like, it didn't work out with you. There could be a plethora of reasons why it didn't work out with you. Just like I started looking at, I guess, like, casting for like a show. You didn't get cast in the show doesn't mean you're not a good actor. It just, you didn't fit the vibe of the show we're looking for. Which we see that a lot. We're like, dang, they're so good. I hope they audition again. It just didn't fit this particular vibe or whatever, for whichever reason. And so I'm like, same with relationships.
It's very smart. And speaking as an actress who auditioned and you saw it, I won't be back, but
we love you so much.
I will not be back. You're not gonna see, especially if it's singing. Oh my God, that was the most terrifying thing. Like that was traumatizing. That was traumatizing for me. And I knew it was going to be. And my son was just like, it's okay. It was just an experience. He's like, you don't sing in front of people. I was like, I talk in front of people all the time, and I have no problem with that, but I cannot sing in front of people. I literally, like, my whole, like, you don't know how much it took for me not to run across, like, my throat was getting dry.
I'm so
and like my whole body was vibrating. Like, as soon as he said something about singing, my whole body started vibrating. You know, like when an animal gets scared. And I started to cry, but I was trying to hold it. And I knew and my throat got really dry. And I knew I had water in my purse. And I don't know if you saw the quick movement I did where I was considering going over to get my water because I couldn't breathe and I couldn't talk anymore. I was like, that's how much.
Get it.
But that's how much I want men to fear me when they want to date me. No, I'm just kidding. I want them to be that afraid that she's gonna walk away. No.
My nail lady, I'm like, she's like, what shape do you want? I'm like, the shape to, like, stab a man in the heart.
But we're not scorned. We've never been hurt before. We're open to experiences. But really, that's one reason why I stopped dating, was because I was just like, I got to figure out Jennifer, because I get too wrapped up in other people's stuff, especially men, and get too wrapped in, and I start, taking on their stuff, their issues, their isms, and then, like, they're the best thing in the world. And really, intrinsically, that person's not that great, but you're, like, almost scared to be alone. And it just, like, I have to make this work. I have to. But it's like, no, it's a great place. It's great when you get to a place of fuck them.
I think that's
a good job, Tiffany.
I'm Tiffany Nicole. I know who Tiffany. I'm learning more and more every day who Tiffany Nicole is, what she likes, what she wants, what she deserves, and I just don't have time. That's how I'm protecting my heart.
You don't have time.
I don't have time. You like me, you don't. You want me, or you don't. It's fine.
How much does somebody's astrological sign have to do with what you want to do with them? Because I was my friend Joey, he was my first guest. We were talking the other day about, like, astrological signs, and he was telling me, because we're both Pisces, but he's like Scorpio rising Scorpio moon or something. And so he asked me what mine was, and I was like, I'm Pisces, that's all I know. And so apparently I have an Aquarius moon and a Sagittarius rising, and my midheaven is in Virgo. I was like, I've never looked up any of that. And so I was just like, what? And then he told me something like the midheaven had something to do with like your occupation and something to do with you being like really organized. And I was like, no, I'm not. At work, I guess, but not in real life. I was like, mine sounded super duper boring. So if your midheaven is in Virgo, you're gonna be very sad. It's very boring. But
I think mine is Gemini, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm a baby astrologer, so like I always have to like sit with stuff for a little bit. But I like if I really have a connection with someone, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're this, I can't date you. But to me, it helps me understand them a little bit better and like understand their love language and understand like how they see things. For me, and I jokingly say that I'll never date a Scorpio just because uh Scorpio and Aries, they're just like they fight. It's just like a fight for the control in the relationship, fight for the power in the relationship, but like super sexually compatible. And I'm like,
of course,
yes,
fire. Yeah.
100%. Well, Scorpio's water.
Scorpio is water. Okay.
Yeah, fine. But the aggressiveness of the Ram and the Scorpio, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm always like, I don't know, but it's insane though. I'm attracted to Scorpios and I don't even know it. Like, or I don't do it on purpose. Like, I meet men and then I'll be like, "Are you fucking Scorpio?" And they're like, "Yes." I'm like, "God damn it."
Does their water put your fire out? Is that what it is?
I guess so.
Or
But
in your fire makes their water boil, and that's what it is. And that's why it's so hot.
Their water boil. I think makes their water boil. So that's how it is for me. I think it really just like helps me understand people, and that's why like with our podcast and stuff like that. That's one of the things that we're talking about is like they're letting them kind of see their full chart, because getting into astrology really helped me, and I got really into it during last summer or last year, I guess, when I had more time to like read up on stuff, and it really helped me figure out who I am and how I see things, and like feel better connection to the stars of like when things are happening. It was very, very helpful for me as a person, and so which is what I think has really helped change me into this like better human being that I'm finding, or this stronger human being, more confident human being. So that's what I use astrology for. But I don't think like if a man came up and he was like super hot and I wanted to date him, I probably wouldn't be like, "You're a Scorpio." The answer is no. I'd be like, "You're a Scorpio. I'm a little concerned." But that's how I use it.
Is that one of the first questions you ask? What's your sign?
So I like to try to guess.
Okay.
Guess signs.
What makes a person seem like they might be a Scorpio? Is it just personality traits, what they look like?
Yeah, they can get very like moody and like not really, or like very like secretive. Like you ask them a question and they're like, "Well, I'll have to tell you later," and whatnot, blah blah. I'm like, "Oh, you freaking Scorpio, man."
That sounds infuriating. Just tell me now.
They are infuriating. Yes,
and that's why you want them. It's because they drive you crazy. You just have to know now. It's a mystery. Okay. Yeah. Do I feel Pisces? Do you get Pisces for me?
I feel more of your Sagittarius rising.
What is that? I don't know any Sagittarius.
So rising is how people perceive you. Your sun sign is like your genuine self, and then like your moon is very much like your emotions. For example, my rising is a Virgo, and that's why I like put together, organized, and that's how a lot of people see me, of being like, yes, and like I'm a stage manager, so that's true. Like that is a piece of me and who I am. But my Aries, I'm chaotic, I'm loud, I'm like spicy. So I tell them that with my Virgo rising is just like you would like go to my desk and be like, "Whoa, there's a lot going on here," and I'm like, "That's my Aries," but my Virgo knows where everything is.
Okay.
And with Pisces, I think, to me, my mother's a Pisces. So I always like really pin Pisces on like how I believe she is. But I do see your Pisces and your Sagittarius like balancing you out very well. Of that Sagittarius, like very fire, very like go getter. To me, a Sagittarius is such a go getter, and like has big dreams and like it's like I'm gonna get this plan done. And like the Pisces in it can be very artistic. And I think Pisces, especially Pisces women, are super artistically minded. And same with Sagittarius women. So like when you bring that together with your rising and your sun, to me, I'm just like, that explains like this podcast to me, because I'm like, your Sagittarius mind rising is like going like, I want to do this podcast, it's gonna be called this, I'm gonna do this. And then your Pisces side is like the artistic version of like that vision coming together very strongly. I think your chart is like, that part of your chart is awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you. Because I don't consider myself to be a go-getter. My resume might say so, and I might say so in a job interview, but I don't really ever feel myself like that. I'm more of like,
How I feel about rising signs though is that I'm like, I don't feel like that's fully me, but I see that's how people can perceive me.
okay. So I seem like a go-getter. I seem like I go get it. I think you just experience me in moments when when I'm trying to get something. It's like, I'm in school for this, I'm doing this, and that's the point when you meet me. You miss out on that parts when I'm in my house dress watching 90 Day Fiance. I have a house dress.
I love a
dress I wore. It's the same. I just have the same one. It's almost 20 years old. It's like from when I was pregnant with my first son, and I love it. And it's my favorite thing in the whole world. It's raggedy as hell.
My moo is my life. I love it. I'm changing my moo after this.
I'm going back in my house dress after this, and I'm gonna go watch 90 Day Fiance. It's Sunday. Sunday is 90 Day Fiance Day. I'm so excited.
I am. I watched all of Grey's Anatomy in 1 year. Like I felt like I caught up. Well, not the current season, but I caught up 17 years of Grey's Anatomy in 1 year. So like that's done. So then I went back to watching The Circle because I've been packing and I need to watch like kind of like I don't have to focus too much on. So I've been watching The Circle while I pack. But then tomorrow I'm gonna start Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot. I don't have any spoilers on it yet. I didn't have any Grey's Anatomy spoilers, by the way. I watched that entire series. No spoilers.
I've never watched or wanted to watch Grey's Anatomy. I think because everybody liked it. I wanted to, part of me wanted to watch it only because I know Debbie Allen has something to do with it. And I love Debbie Allen. She's but perfect. Also, I don't care about,
she's everything.
Something about that, whoever that girl that plays Meredith Grey or something about her irritates me. No offense to her as a person. Just when I see her on the screen, it's something that tells me that character is going to get on my nerves. And I just...
You actually probably would get yours.
She would? Okay.
You probably would.
Like, and then it's weird for me to see Patrick Dempsey as like the hot guy, because I think of him from this 80s movie called Can't Buy Me Love, and he was like the dork.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the dork who got the girl somehow, even though when he got the girl, he acted like dorks do. And started feeling himself too much and almost lost the girl, and then had to go back and get the girl. And she was just like, I guess let's roll off together on this lawnmower.
I like what's that dude in there? That black dude with them like sparkly eyes. Oh my god, all I can think
Jesse Williams.
Yes,
he's like everybody's like that's the guy. Like he's the most beautiful man.
He is so beautiful. On that show, I was like,
you probably know it too. He looked like he knows it.
He looks like one of those guys where he's like, I'm light skinned and my eyes are brown.
Shoot, can't tell him shit.
Ooh, if I had my dad has green eyes. If I had been born with green eyes,
can tell you nothing.
I probably would have been a bitch. People would have hated me. I would have been like, my eyes are green.
Well, you have pretty brown eyes. The brown eyes are beautiful too.
Thank you. I agree. But yeah, when he came on that show, I was like, yes.
If he had a British accent, he would be unstoppable, I think.
Ooh.
Because Idris Elba gets me constantly. I'm like, he is fine. I was very sad when he found love.
Yeah.
I was like, good for him, but also boo.
That's disrespectful.
Why did you have to do that? Can you just stay alone for a little bit longer while I got my life together?
If someone was like, describe your dream man, I'd be Jesse Williams. There he is. Right there.
That's the one. So when you're out there looking for swiping, we're not going to swipe until you see Jesse Williams. He's probably gonna be an asshole, whoever that guy is.
Yeah, right. I get what, 'cause he kind of looks like this little boy I had a crush on in the 4th grade. Light skin. And like his mom, my mom were like BFFs. And so it was like really awkward.
Do people make you feel bad when you like light skinned guys? They'd be like, you're color struck. That's what people tell me all the time. And I'm like, Idris Elba's hot too. They're hot chocolate guys. I was like, why am I color struck?
I would date Idris Elba over Drake. So come on.
Drake needs that beard. Now, as he gets older and I would probably talk to Drake as long as he has the beard. Because without the beard, but then he wouldn't have had a baby and ruined it. You said what?
I said, let's not get crazy. If Drake came up and knocked on my door right now, I wouldn't be like, no. Like,
you're right.
Stupid. I am not blind.
Yeah, I told my kids, I was like, I'm not really attracted to Drake, but like, he could be a stepdaddy. He could totally be a stepdaddy.
I know.
I take care of Adonis. It's okay. I'm great with kids.
I take care of Adonis. Oh my god, no! I haven't had anyone like judge me for being like light skinned dudes. I just like I used to always say as long as they're brown. Like I just can't really see myself thinking. I say that, and you're judging me right now because you're like, Tiffany, you that white boy.
I've known at least 2 white boys.
Yeah, I know, but I prefer to know that they're brown.
Okay. So it's like you can date like how people have those things with like, I'll date a white girl, but I won't marry one, or I'll date a white dude, but I won't marry him.
Oh, I kind of feel.
That's how you feel.
Could you imagine if I had brought that white dude home to my family? They would have been like,
not with that personality. Like, not at all.
They would have laughed him out of the house.
I don't have any problem. I don't know. As I get older, I see a more value in maybe finding like the next guy I'm with, like being some sort of black. But I don't, obviously I still love Captain America. So he's the most basic looking white dude, but for some reason,
I just say that
for some reason, I would definitely, but he's very basic looking. Like if he wasn't who he was, nobody would be concerned with him.
Honestly, though, probably right.
You know what I mean? He's like that guy in high school that you're not really sure why you have a crush on. But it's like he's probably into something, or he's very popular, or he plays a sport, or he's really good in band. Like he's something about him that is just like, now I'm looking at him. Because sometimes I think of guys that I thought were really cute back in the day, and I'm like, you were a really basic ass looking white dude. Yep. What is wrong with me? Yep. But like Captain America could definitely still get it.
Yeah, I mean, like, or I wouldn't say no. I'm like, you're a looking white boy, but if you knock on my door, it's like, can I borrow your cell phone? I'd be like, it's in my room.
It's your phone. Got it. Everything I learned about myself is out the window. Hello, Chris Evans. Yeah. Jennifer Evans, Tiffany Evans. Ooh. Yeah, we'll just
Evans. She won Starstruck. When they redid Starstruck, was that what it's called? Star Search. They redid Star Search. It was Star Search with I was gonna say what's his name? Arsenio Hall redid it when I was a kid, and there's a little girl named Tiffany Evans.
Did she win? She won.
She won.
Okay, good for her. And so you can win too.
Oh my god.
Well, it's been the most fun talking to you, and I could just talk to you for all day. All day. Sometimes it almost makes me miss working with you, just so I could have those moments of what are we going to eat today? Even when I wasn't hungry and I did not plan on spending any money, I'd still be like, okay. Let's do it.
All the time.
All good times. Yes. And I'm so excited about your podcast. What's it called one more time?
Thank you. So I keep going back and forth because all of our pictures we have is this is why you're single, but we have a little carrot that's probably. Let me check our Instagram. Let me see. Follow some Instagram right now because
what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram?
Our Instagram is this is probably why you're single. You'll find a picture of me and my my co-host Nicole, and we're around tarot cards.
Okay.
So the actual podcast is called This Is Why You're Single, but our Instagram is This Is Probably Why You're Single. But yeah, because it's our image is This Is Why You're Single, and there's a little carrot that says probably, because that's the joke. We're well, probably. We're not experts. But if you find it, you'll find a picture of us, and it's like we're surrounded by tarot cards. And it'll be dropping in January.
Is there a specific date on January yet, or just you just know it's happening in January?
I just know it's happening
January 2022.
2022. We're gonna start posting a couple more things soon. And we're gonna have a little trailer, like a little sneak peek promo coming out pretty soon as well. So keep an eye on us on Instagram, and we'll be posting a lot there. And from there, we'll show. I'm working on our website, and she's working on our TikTok, and our YouTube.
Look at you.
So yeah,
your Sagittarius is just rising.
It's my that's you. That's my my Virgo is rising.
Your Virgo's rising, and you're just gonna be the new Tiffany on Star Search. They're gonna find you. That's so exciting. Is there anywhere else you want them to follow you, or?
You can also follow me on my Instagram, and then I'll be posting about our podcast. But I'm Tiff Nicole 10, TIFFNICOLE 10.
That's so exciting. All right, I'm going to put all that stuff on my website, www.epicgirlsguide.com, and follow us on all the social media and all the places where you can find the podcast. Thank you so much, Tiffany. It was so much fun.
So
Another
good.
time.
Why should I? And that's one of the energy I'm taking into the new year.